Hey, welcome. Where are we, Phil?
We're on a boat.
We're on a
We
boat.
are on a boat. That's why the hat. That's why I'm wearing the hat. Makes sense that we're on a boat.
Yes. So we thought we should get together and chat about first and second round. We did intend to do this for the first round, but
Busy lifestyles, mate.
Busy
Very
lifestyles,
busy lifestyles,
yeah.
you know.
yeah. So the intention here is to just sort of go over the 2 rounds and go through things from a few angles.
Yeah, just basically nut everything out and just give you a relaxed environment of what's been going on the last couple of rounds, what worked, what didn't work, you know, all the do's and don'ts, that kind of stuff. Not going to bore you majorly with that, but you know, and along the way have some laughs with some very funny people on the ground. So
That's right. In the future, we do want to get you involved, give you guys a call and see your take as well on how you found each round.
yeah, guess we better introduce ourselves, hey Brad?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm Phil. I'm the CRO and technical director of MEGA Motorsport, and my role is pretty simple.
Everyone's seen you around the place,
Yeah,
mate.
so if you haven't, I don't know where the hell you've been hiding, but I've been there. So from scrutineering to customer relations on the ground, problem solver, your friend, your confidant.
Nice. Yeah, and I'm sure you've probably seen me around as well. I'm the business development manager for MEGA Motorsport and managing operations on the ground throughout the events. So between Phil and I, you do get to see us a bit, and we love seeing you guys and making sure the events run smoothly.
Smooth as baby's bottom.
So let's jump in. We want to kind of go through from a few different angles from our side, and then we'd love to hear from you guys down in the comments below. You know, your angle as well. We want to always look to keep improving. So that means you guys improving and us improving. And Phil, what do you think people could do better from a scrutineering angle?
Yeah, let's just dive straight into it. Like from scrutineering, just basically like I've been there from the start since we started Lemons and transitioned into Pro. It's our fifth year in the Pro, Pro series.
It's gone fast, hasn't it?
And it has, it really has. And then you know, just over time, picking up on issues and stuff, and like you know, all the drivers and teams having to sort of go back and like fix up before scrutineering or after scrutineering, and it just gets a drag, you know, ruins their whole atmosphere and stuff for them, not for us.
It does.
But you know, the whole standard of scrutineering is unbelievable. Like I don't even have words for it, because I was picking up a lot of things and a lot of stuff that needed to be reworked.
Yep.
But now the main issues seem to be just the basic stuff, actually, like your battery security, and the biggest thing actually was the fire extinguishers not actually being fully charged. You know, lucky enough, the teams that did need to replace them actually had spare ones on board. So good stuff to you guys.
Make sure you have spares for everything, not just extinguishers.
Yes,
but
spares.
You mentioned batteries being loose, but I've noticed a few extinguishers being loose too. So not just tech screwing them into your floor pan. It's not gonna work.
So I mean, the major stuff like, you know, all the engine and you know, everything, cages and seats and stuff like that, spot on. But then it's the smaller, simpler stuff that gets missed.
Yes.
You know, you tend to overlook it. So and those sometimes are the things that can stop you from going racing. So
yeah, you don't want to make any barrier to getting on the track. So and one thing I wanted to point out as well is if you do have any questions around what you want to do with your car, and make sure you know that whole transition is easy. Just reach out before the race. You know, if you've got any questions about what you do or don't need to do, just ask. We're here to help.
All right, so that's the scrutineering side of things out of the way. So Brad, from an ops point of view, what's your take? I know you were away on round one.
Yes.
Swanning about. I don't know where he was, but I hear he was having some fun. But from round 2 anyway at Taupo, what's your take on everything that was happening down there?
Yeah, I think the biggest takeaway from Taupo especially, but I did hear that there was sort of a similar scenario in round 1, is transponders. Is that piece is taking a lot of admin on our side and impacting you guys as well. So transponders, when we are renting them out, not getting put in a correct location. So make sure they're not in the cockpit trying to look through a chassis rail. Let's get them up the front, somewhere in clear air, and they do have an arrow. The red piece goes towards the track, so make sure that has clear view below. Nice and easy. That's the biggest one.
And I think too also Jakob had sent out published a video on the testing rig that we'll be using at round 3. So it's really important, not so much for us, but also you guys, because there's nothing worse than going through your window of qualifying being half an hour to, you know, not registering even a lap. So
That's right.
it's primarily for you guys to get sorted and stuff, because there's nothing worse than losing a time that could mean a first to a second.
We had a couple of cars that had set no time, so they had to start from the back of the field.
Yeah. So there's a perfect example.
Bad.
Perfect example.
That ruins your weekend. I mean, look, it's a long race. You come back from it, but the whole point of qualifying and doing a good job there is reaping the benefits and starting in a competitive position.
Yeah, you don't really want to set up the tone for the remainder of the event. There's nothing worse than that. Starting off on a negative like that, and you're on the back foot the whole way through. It's no fun. So
yeah. And if you've got a subscription-based transponder, just make sure it's got the subscription up to date, because
real simple.
That's little things. Make that part of your pre-race routine.
If you need to make a list, you make a list.
Yeah,
God damn it,
make
people.
a list.
Lists are good.
And then race control side of things, the driver standards that we saw from race control have actually been really good. So I spent a lot of the race in Taupo up there, mainly because it was nice and warm. But we had quite a few things going on the track. Period there, we kind of had safety cars breeding safety cars, and all the work around formations behind that, maintaining speeds, etc., was really good. So good on you guys for doing that. So no real qualms from the
and I noticed that from the ground as well. Like that's really good, because often we have this joke about don't try and catch the safety car, because you won't, and which is true, 100% accurate. But it was very well maintained, like the restarts and stuff, and it's a pro event. It's a national sanctioned championship. It's not just some it's not lemons.
No,
basically
step up from lemons,
it is
for sure.
100%. So
yeah,
but that was well controlled, and just the driver standards in conditions like we had at Hampton Downs and at Taupo, like very similar.
Yeah.
Like that could have been very, very bad for a lot of people, in those kind of conditions. But I was amazing and happy. It made my life a lot easier.
Yeah, it makes all of our lives a lot easier, and yours a lot easier too.
So I was very impressed with that, and it just keeps getting better. It keeps getting better as time goes on. So.
And catching up to the safety car is another one. That's a big one that we noticed in Lemons. And you know who you are. Catch up to the car in front, because we can't start the race until there's a safe way to start that race.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
I think that's the biggest one that impacts. You lose a whole lap, especially at somewhere like Taupo. A safety car lap in Taupo is like 3 minutes. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so
it takes a little longer. But
no, that was very controlled. So
yeah, cool. And then we have our guys on the ground from a safety angle, and we can't go racing without them, so we always take our hats off to them. We love what they do, and they gave us a bit of feedback too. And Phil and I on the ground as well saw a few things. But what was your sort of big one that you saw?
Yeah, from and like I said, I touched on it again, like from just progression and evolution from race to race. The guys are getting, the teams are getting much better with being more onto it with their PPE. You do get those ones that are in that moment and are rushing and they forget their PPE or forget the gloves and stuff like that.
And that's what we're there for. We're not there to tell you off. We're there to help keep you safe. So we're out there for you guys. And
100%.
we want you to come back to the next round and make the whole season.
Yeah, but the only thing I would probably exaggerate the point of is the refueling rigs.
Yes. Yes.
Just I know. We do allow electronic pumps, and I know there's probably only a few teams that do use that. But if you do have an electronic pump and you elect to use that, it must be signed off by either myself or a NASCAR official. MEGA.
Pretty much either of us. You're gonna find us, and to make that easier, bring it to scrutineering with you, because that's the time that we're there and we're checking things like that. It must be approved before the race, or you cannot use it.
But to be just 100% clear as well, like. It's not just approval. It needs documentation to say it is fit for that purpose. Okay, so there's got to be some sort of certificate of approval, or to make
that's
it.
right.
It's got
to be fit for purpose and built professionally. And I think just another thing that was pointed out to us is lack of spill trays during refueling, and just containing and managing the fuel when it is spilt. Leaving fuel around is not great. It's it is dangerous. So make sure you get your spill trays down.
Yeah, 100%. It's real simple stuff. But it does get overlooked when you're in the heat of the moment.
Exactly, and I think the other thing that gets overlooked quickly is jacks and jack stands. So if you saw a few jacks getting flung around, I know we're trying to do fast pit stops, but that's dangerous. There's people around.
I think there might be. I think there might be a few people trying to imitate old Shane Van Gisbergen and NASCAR with the flying jacks. But
that's right.
You'll get a pit stop done a lot quicker if you're not injured. So let's put it that way.
Exactly right. Yeah. All right. So yeah, that's kind of a wrap up on what we've done in the first couple of rounds. But we want to sort of touch on the racing side as well. You know, there's been a lot of good racing.
Oh yeah.
So we'll start with Hampton Downs, round 1, a very wet affair. Yeah. What was your highlights of that one?
Oh, the highlights.
Yeah, the highlights.
Oh, the highlights. I tell you, well, there was no sunlight, that's for sure.
No.
Oh my God! But for the conditions, like to be out there in a car racing around in those conditions, which is borderline, you know, looking up at race control, going, are you gonna read it? Are you gonna red flag it? Are you gonna wait until it eases off? Like there were moments where that was on the cusp of that happening.
Yes.
But then everyone just carried on. Wet, dry, hail, snow. They carried on because it's a championship, and the battles that we're having in each class and stuff, you know, was I actually enjoyed the most, even though I was getting saturated out there. And Umbrella,
someone's got to do it, mate.
An Umbrella did not do me any good. I didn't want to be that guy with an umbrella down pit lane, but so
they're dangerous.
Yeah, very dangerous. But no, it was really good. I was surprised with just the level of I guess just there's the competitiveness out there, but there's also a level of respect and stuff. You know, there wasn't the dive bombing, there wasn't for a reason of they don't want to ride off their cars, but then
it's a long season.
Yeah, it's only the first round, so it was epic. It was really, really good.
Yeah,
you know?
I think that goes to show why there wasn't red flagged, is the driving standards were generally really good.
Yep.
Unless you're in a BMW, I take it. Yeah, so it's a bit of a shame. Round 1, we lost 3 cars with some rather big offs, but that's just making sure you drive within yourselves, drive the conditions, and like I said, for the majority, it's really good. But it happens fast, and those guys, they had those moments when you talk to them afterwards.
You're just a passenger sometimes, eh?
That's right. So,
but
we're conscious of that. We want to make sure you guys can come back to the next rounds, finish the full championship, and of course, stay safe.
But it was what I enjoyed the most actually too was the strategy, going down each team and just having a nosy of what their strategies were, and
it's like professional almost.
Yeah. I was blown away.
It's good.
But just the level of like, hey, everyone's out looking out of the weather, going, is it going to bucket down?
Yeah.
You know, do we go to wets? You had the team like of Ghost Dog with Rick and Dion Cooper, you know, going, oh, should we stay on the wets? And then you had the drivers actually searching for water that were on wets. Like that's really,
that's cool, isn't it?
That is some extreme stuff.
Proper racing,
right
and
to the bitter end to go. Do we need to swap on wets and make that decision, because the racing was so close. You know.
Yeah, pit stop.
It could have been the difference between first and second. You know.
Yeah. That's
but
good.
A lot of people made the right calls, and some people didn't.
Awesome. I mean, that's what endurance racing is all about, right? That's so you don't get in sprint racing. You definitely don't. You don't pit for a change of tyres in a sprint race. So,
but that was awesome to see. So, yeah.
I guess, and one of the fun things at round 1 is working out what class you're in, right?
Yeah, that's it's fun for me watching people stress out and going, are we in Super? Are we in GT Pro?
And what's the advice we always give them?
Well, I can't say it on here, mate. Go like a bat out of hell and see where you get out. End up.
Exactly. I mean, that's it. You want to go up. You don't want to be holding back.
Nah, and that's the thing. Like it's like I said again, it's a strategy thing. But round 1 is always the round that determines the rest of your season and which class you're in. And you had the added pressure of doing it in a wet event. You know, that's
I think that's what I heard. Is a couple of cars that thought I could go down a class because it was wet and they'd be quite competitive in the wet in that class. But that doesn't work so well when it either dries or is dry in future rounds.
And the best thing, the really good thing we introduced pretty much from day dot when we started this series is that amnesty period. Yeah, that amnesty really, really helps. It helped a lot of guys determine where they were in the wet, because if they figured out if they're consistent in this certain time bracket, then it's safe to say they're going to be like that in the dry. You know?
That's right.
And it was enough time to cycle the drivers through as well. Yeah. So.
And it's good with, a lot of the cars have done a lot of events now over the years, so they know the sort of system, and we've got our guys on the ground, Alex, Berto, they're our sort of men on the ground from a class point of view, and they do a really good job. So if you've ever got any questions or need stickers or anything like that for your class, just find them.
Yeah, so pretty much covered everything on round one. What's now that old Mr. Jet Setter was here on round two? What was your take on it?
The irony was I missed round one being in Taupo, but yeah, round two Taupo was cold. Was probably the biggest takeaway to start, and I think that got everyone ready, and the driving again was great. You know, we had a pretty good start. It was a late green, which was nice. They had a bit of action into one. And everyone kept it clean. I think that was awesome. Straight off the bat, I knew we were going to have a good race.
Yep.
We ran 2 wide through to probably corner 5 or 6 for a lot of both front and middle of the pack. So that was cool.
Yeah, had a lot of us
start.
officials, sort of it's like,
waiting for it.
Here comes the carnage.
Yeah, safety car coming. And
yeah, but very impressed.
No, everyone drove really well, and I think that for those first few hours, it was just everyone getting out there circulating and finding a good rhythm. And then, yeah, we sort of had a few mechanicals. I think that was the biggest takeaway I had from Taupo was just the attrition rate.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just making sure cars are prepped, I think, for that one and whatnot. It's just a shame to see some good battles getting decided mechanically was a bit of a shame.
Yeah, mind you, Taupo is notorious for being quite hard on the gear.
It is.
Like, it's especially the tyres. Even I had a few competitors, just mentioned to me about their tyre wear, and you'd think being in wet, it wouldn't affect it, but holy, that those new surfaces after V8 supercars, crazy. It's shredding the tyres.
It's always been a tyre reader, and that surface is 2 or 3 seconds a lap faster. It's only gonna be more.
Yeah, so
nothing's for free, unfortunately, and
nah.
Every time I've ever taken a car to Taupo, we use twice as many tyres. It just is what it is, but it also helped with the racing because it meant more pit stops and a bit of stuff going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, unfortunately, we saw a couple of gearboxes and other things going on, but.
Well,
that's racing.
That's motorsport.
That's right.
Motorsport, love.
Yeah. Another thing I noticed in Taupo is we had actually some brand new drivers out there that got thrown in during the race, and that was good.
Yeah.
It's what we want. It's what we want to see.
That was there was definitely a few newbies in there too. Well, one in particular wasn't new to motorsport, but she hopped in her dad's car.
Yeah.
And in the treacherous conditions and persevered. Like that's pretty amazing.
And started to push the limits too. A couple of spins in there, and that's part of it. And the rejoins were safe. Everyone drove around and gave respect as well, which is really cool.
Yeah, because if you're not spinning and not finding your limits, you're not gonna progress or get any better and stuff. And I mean, you can't sit here and tell me that guys like Max Verstappen, Shane Van Gisbergen, and all of that kind of stuff, when you actually have a look at their qualifying and their practices, they're finding the limits and stuff. So they're doing spins, they're going off track.
That's right.
And it's the same with the guys that are racing in our series. It's exactly the same circumstances.
Yeah. And we want to make sure we're bringing new people into the sport as well.
Yeah, 100%. Like I think round 2 actually was the round where we had quite a few actually new entrants as well.
Yes.
That couldn't make Hamptons for whatever reason, family commitments, work commitments, all that kind of stuff, and so they were new to the Pro Series.
That's great.
new to the structure, new to the the format, and they were driving and took to it like they'd been there for years. So and mingled with the rest of the guys that was being cemented in there for years, and guys and girls.
And there's a lot of them, and that's great. Yeah. I think it's really a big core of the racing is they're always coming back, and there's must be something in the water.
It's a big part of it, Like it's the culture of it all. There's no. I've been to a lot of and been raced myself and been involved in a lot of stuff and racing events that at that level and that professional level and stuff. There's quite a divide I've noticed over the years. Whereas when we developed this and got it off the ground, and it just transitioned from Lemons to the Pro side of things, and that whole atmosphere was taken from Lemons into Pro, where people still are helping each other. A guy needs a jack or something like that, or he needs a tyre, and it's still Pro level, and they're racing in the same classes. You got to understand this, so they could
still wanted to help out.
Yeah, so I mean, it blows my mind, and it's just it blows my mind just. That's the caliber of competitors and people around that we have involved in our events. Like it's pretty special. Like
I agree. The racing also just great. We've got some really good tight fights at the front of the field and in each of the categories too. It's not just the front of the field being the cars that are the fastest. It's the fronts of each category, each of the fields.
Yeah, and it's you could. There's so many talking points and so many battles that you could actually speak for hours about. Like we're talking the Ghost Dogs and the Dub, battles there.
That was a
and
good battle.
Really, really tight.
That was good to watch.
And I'd expect something to see that. But you move further down the classes, and you got the two Suzuki Swifts. One being six.
They just keep finding each other.
Yeah,
it didn't matter when they pitted or what their strategy was. They found each other on track and then just battled it, and that was great.
That was awesome. To see.
We need more of those. Bring on more Suzukis.
That's wicked. And then you go down further into the sport class, Sport Pro, and they've got their own battles. And they're known as being the most consistent guys to run around. I mean, no one needs any introduction, but Assassin Racing.
Yeah, but how consistent are they?
Yeah, but it's that kind of stuff in those battles, and that's what I love, like seeing it in different tiers. It's boring if it's only going to be a one-sided event, one-sided sort of the same two battling at the top. The focus is always on them, because I tell you what, there is stuff happening down there and down in the rest of those classes that will actually you'll be sitting there going, holy, these guys need to be up there.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? And even when I have our guys in the car, the thing I always say, it doesn't matter if you're not fighting for the lead, you're still fighting with the guy that's right in front of you. Just move up a position at a time, and that battle on the track's still fun. It's great as a driver, and it's also, we can see it happening, and it looks fun.
Yeah. So basically, that's round 1 and round 2 in a nutshell. Looking forward to round 3. I don't know about you.
Back to Hampton, the home track for many of the teams. A track that many have done thousands of laps around as the Lemons cars are now into Pro. And we love it. We love working with Hampton, and we love getting there. So
so I've had a decent break between round 2 and coming up to round 3.
Get those cars fixed.
Get those cars all fixed and get the mind sharp, eh? Yeah. But also it's probably a good time to bring up about the with round 3 is your chance to be able to qualify for round 4 on the international. Right. So it's round 4 is held at Hamptons as well.
Yep. But on the international.
Yep. So just be wary. Like the guys that have done round 1, round 2, no problem. You automatically qualify as well, and to get into round 4 at Hamptons International. But it's very important to those of you who want to do the international at Hamptons round 4. You must do the previous round, being round 3 coming up just around the corner. Yeah. So get in amongst it. Get in there. Get your car out of the garage. I don't care what you have to do, because get your butt onto the international, because that is a magical
what a track.
Man.
And you don't get much of an opportunity to actually drive the international, That's something that Tony has agreed with us to do for this year. Yeah. It's the first for us in Pro to run international.
Yeah, 100%. And definitely I take my boat hat off to the team at Hampton Downs, and Josie and her team and Tony, that to be able to let us and accommodate us run the international. I mean, it's truly something special, and it's a track that's very, very exclusive.
Yes,
and for reasons being obvious. You know, it ain't no little tin pot track out the back of.
That's right. It's a privilege.
Yeah,
it's a privilege to run on the international, and so it is your chance to get in there. You do need to run this for the next event if you want to run it, and we're looking to get some more of those battles. We talked earlier about the Suzuki battle. And I hear a rumour there may be a few V8 Utes running as a group, which would be quite interesting to watch. Yeah. And I know there's a couple of other classes out there, RX-8s, Honda boys. Bring them down. And if you've got a group of you in the same category, we'd love to sort of, have a battle within the battle as well. So let's get that going.
Just because I know for a fact there's some, seeing all the comments on social media between teams and stuff like that, I know there's some unresolved battles out there.
Exactly.
And there's some bets being made under the table that are wanting to be paid out. So... this is your chance. Make sure you get down there.
And there's a lot of lemons and limes cars out there as well that we don't really see in Pro, and we'd love to see you. This is a good thing. We got the September day-night event coming up.
So that's
but
on
this is
the
a
horizon.
good tester for you. Yep. This is a short race for you guys, but bring it out 3 hours, 6 hours. Yep. Get into it and get some practice.
Yeah, I think we've covered, for like being our first episode, I think we've covered quite a lot. In that short amount of time. Probably just to not so much recap, but also just give you guys a bit of a heads up and a bit of advice. So same as usual, scrutineering on the Friday.
Yes.
The easiest and the best thing for you guys to be organised and not stress out and make the most and set a precedence for the remainder of the event is get in early, get your documentation done.
Yeah.
But get your cars all scrutineered, then you don't have to worry about it. sit back, you relax.
And the documentation's online. Just get it done there, pay online, have everything done. When you turn up to sign in, it's just so much easier.
Hassle-free.
Hassle-free. And GearCheck will be doing it at Scrutineering Bay.
Yeah,
set up down there, so just make it nice and easy.
Yeah, so GearCheck will be done down there. Testing of the transponders also down there.
Yeah.
But yeah, just look forward to it. I really do.
Looking
really
forward
do.
to it.
And let's, fingers crossed, I got a 20 on it, that the sun is going to be shining. Because if it's not, I'm going to write a letter to up there, and I'll tell you what, it ain't going to be nice.
I've heard this before, actually,
it
and it hasn't worked so well for the last 2 rounds.
No, so let's see what happens.
Quite go all in on Phil's
yeah, well, you know,
hey,
$20.
Fingers crossed.
$20 is $20, though. So
either way, it's good racing, and we're looking forward to seeing it on there.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
Like, rain, hail, or shine, we'll be there.
We will.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Pretty.